and did a podcast, a watch podcast. You sat your for almost 2 hours
and didn't leave,
and you talk. And the white folk asked you, was you a professional officer?
Yeah,
we would have never asked you that, nigga. We got respect for you,
right?
And you sat right there and you answered that question so eloquently, like it wasn't even disrespectful. And then I get to sit back and watch that. Man, what's the difference between them and us?
Okay.
Now I feel disrespect.
Right.
Don't do us like that.
Breaking. You won't believe what just went down in the worlds of hip-hop and comedy. What happens when a self-made mogul, a man whose Instagram alone could bankrupt small countries with his cars, mansions, and private jet flexes, gets roasted by a comedian who makes billions laugh for a living? Chaos. Absolute chaos. DC Young Fly, the fearless, no-holds-barred master of roasting, decided it was time to poke fun at Rick Ross and, oh boy, did the internet explode. But did anyone expect Ross, the biggest boss himself, to actually respond? To defend his empire against jokes about his animals, his lemon pepper wings, and yes, his very carefully curated lifestyle. Nobody saw this coming. Was this just a comedy roast gone wrong? Or the beginning of a full-blown personality clash that could shake the internet to its core? Social media has been buzzing non-stop. Memes are flying faster than...
Since he walked off on y'all?
We were just talking to Angie Martinez about that yesterday.
We in Atlanta, so we run into him all the time. Car shows, so it ain't never been no hard feeling.
I don't want to say no hard feeling.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, first of all, I don't give...
Yeah, I get it.
But I give a... Because...
Try to make it...
You as a person.
Yeah.
We the type of people that will never bring up nothing that we feel like that can be diminished to your career or anything, nigga, because we some real niggas.
Yeah.
The moment you leave our show,
than Ross private jets. And fans are picking sides like this is some epic showdown straight out of a movie. Who's really at fault? Here the comedian with no filter, or the mogul who can't take a joke? Stick around, because we're diving deep into the most shocking, wild, and controversial feud of the year. This isn't just entertainment, this is the story. Everyone's pretending didn't happen. It all started as a simple joke, or at least that's what everyone thought when DC Young Fly, the fearless comedian with a mic sharp enough to cut through reputations, took the stage like he always does, turning the crowd upside down with his energy and roasting anyone and everyone in sight. But this time, he went straight for Rick Ross, the self-made mogul whose lifestyle could make billionaires feel inadequate and whose every post on Instagram screams power, wealth, and untouchable status. People thought it was just another comedy set, but the moment DC started joking about Ross' ever-growing collection of exotic animals and comparing his ranch to Jurassic Park, the crowd went wild. Phones came out, and the clip exploded online within minutes. Then came the jokes about Ross' weight loss, his love for lemon pepper wings, his overthought mansions and luxury cars, and even his private jets. DC roamed through Ross' life with precision, pointing out absurdities that everyone else had only whispered about, but delivered it all with charm and humor that only he could pull off. Ross, however, did not take it lightly. Instead of laughing it off or posting a witty response like a mogul, he went on Instagram with a series of videos flaunting his wealth, his Maybachs, his jewelry, his sprawling mansions, and even his rare animals, as if to say no joke could ever touch him. He called DC a little clown and insisted that no one could joke about greatness when they hadn't reached that level yet. And just like that, what started as comedy became a full-blown clash of personalities. Social media erupted instantly. Fans divided themselves between Team DC and Team Ross. Memes were flying everywhere, and people could not stop talking about the audacity of a comedian daring to mock one of hip-hop's biggest moguls. Anonymous sources supposedly close to Ross claimed he was pacing his mansion and instructing his staff to curate content that reinforced his dominance online while DC was thriving on the chaos. Posting response videos that were sharper, funnier, and even more provocative. The tension was electric because this was not just about jokes. It was ego versus ego, image versus image, and neither side was willing to back down. Ross had spent decades building an empire that projected control and untouchable power, while DC's career thrived on poking holes in exactly that kind of power. Memes multiplied, photoshopping Ross with buffalo and DC with microphones like swords. And every post, every video, every caption became part of the narrative that the internet devoured with obsession. By the time the initial jokes settled, Ross' responses had already escalated to a new level, signaling that this was not just about defending Pride but an orchestrated flex to prove that crossing him had consequences. The world watched closely, fascinated by the clash, analyzing every post, every reaction, and every subtle jab because this was no ordinary feud. It was a collision of two larger-than-life personalities whose spheres of influence were massive, and while some saw it as petty and overblown, others knew this was the kind of spectacle that could dominate headlines for weeks. The combination of comedy, social media frenzy, and unshakable pride created the perfect storm, and from that moment, no one could look away as two forces collided in a public showdown that promised chaos, entertainment, and drama at every turn. As the feud continued to spiral, DC Young Fly did not hesitate to respond to Rick Ross' public displays of wealth and power with the same fearless energy that first got him into this mess, posting videos that mocked Ross for acting like his animals, signed his checks, and pointing out that a billionaire mogul arguing with a comedian over jokes looked both desperate and hilarious at the same time. And the internet could not get enough, sharing clips, creating memes, and dissecting every word like it was a national emergency. Ross, on the other hand, doubled down on his image of untouchable authority, posting long captions about levels, respect, and staying above the noise while flexing his cars, jets, and sprawling estates, sending a clear message that jokes about him would not go unanswered and that anyone daring to cross him would feel the full weight of his ego. And fans began to realize that this was no ordinary exchange but a public spectacle of pride and reputation clashing in real time. People started analyzing every interaction, every post, and every social media story, trying to determine who had the upper hand as DC continued to poke fun at Ross' obsession with his image and his soap boss energy while highlighting the absurdity of someone so rich and powerful being triggered by simple comedy. And each response only fueled the frenzy, keeping the internet glued to their screens and the memes multiplying exponentially. The feud quickly evolved into a debate over power dynamics, respect, and the intersection of comedy and celebrity culture, with commentators, fans, and influencers weighing in with opinions that ranged from admiration for DC's courage to astonishment at Ross' sensitivity, and the sheer unpredictability of the back and forth made it impossible to ignore. Behind the scenes, rumors and fake insider reports circulated about meetings, heated exchanges, and even hypothetical legal threats, all adding layers of drama and suspense to an already explosive situation, while DC maintained his trademark humor, turning Ross' attempts to assert dominance into punchlines that the public could not resist repeating. And the attention only magnified both of their platforms, making the feud feel larger than life. Every social media move, from Instagram posts to Twitter subtweets, was scrutinized, and the narrative became a chess game of one-upmanship where Ross' opulent lifestyle became both his shield and target, and DC's comedic timing became his weapon, and together they created a storm that blurred the lines between entertainment and personal rivalry, drawing in fans from every corner of the internet who wanted to witness every twist, every jab, and every reaction. The situation escalated to the point where even other comedians and rappers felt compelled to comment, offering support, criticism, or their own humorous takes. And the constant public attention transformed the entire feud into a living, breathing media spectacle that seemed to have no end in sight, with each side feeding off the reactions of the other, and the viral momentum showing no signs of slowing. By the time the initial outrage had settled into a sustained frenzy, it was clear that this was no temporary clash, but a prolonged saga of personality, pride, and social media warfare, where each post could change the narrative, each joke could be weaponized, and the public remained captivated by every moment, knowing that in this battle between a comedian with nothing to lose and a mogul who cannot tolerate ridicule, the stakes were as high as the drama was intense, and the world would be watching closely until the very end. So what do you think is really happening here? Is Rick Ross overreacting? Or is DC Young Fly finally met his match in a mogul who refuses to be mocked? The truth is, nobody can look away, and neither should you. The internet is watching, fans are debating, and every post, every video, every subtle jab could be the next big viral moment. This is more than comedy, more than flexing, more than just a few jokes. It's a battle of pride, power, and personality that's unfolding right in front of us, and you have a front row seat. Don't scroll past this, don't miss a single update, and don't just be a spectator. Dive into the chaos, see the memes, analyze the reactions, and witness two enormous personalities collide in real time. Comment below and tell us who you're rooting for. Are you Team DC, fearless and unapologetic, or Team Ross, powerful and untouchable? Smash that like button if you love drama that keeps the internet buzzing, and subscribe so you never miss the latest updates, insider takes, and shocking revelations from this feud. Hit the notification bell because the next move could happen any second. And trust me, you do not want to be the last to see it. The story isn't over, and your opinion matters. Join the conversation now. Join the conversation now.